Hello, movie lovers. This is Till the Last Credit, and today we're coming at you with our first commentary. Um, just so you know, if you haven't seen any of our earlier videos, this is our first commentary as Till the Last Credit. We used to be Cinema Squad, and we've done some commentaries before. And if you don't know, just make sure if you want to go along with us, set your Blu-ray, digital, whatever. Make sure you set it to 000. And then. Yeah, today I'm Dylan, of course, and today I'm here with Darren. What's going on, Darren?
It's going good. I can't wait to watch one of my favorite MCU films.
Good for you. Miller, you excited to watch Iron Man?
Sure, haven't seen it in a while. I don't remember the last time I saw it.
Tisha, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good. It's been a good weekend for me, and I'm excited to watch the movie.
Will, are you doing terrible?
No, I'm doing fantastic.
Okay, that's great. Well, let's get this shit started. Okay, everyone press play in 3, 2, 1.
And by the way, this contains spoilers for anybody who hasn't watched this movie, and it's also like 10 years old now. So,
You should have watched it by now.
Yeah, it's not quite 10 years old, but it's insane that it is 9 years old. Like, literally.
Yeah, I mean,
it will be 10 years old. The MCU will be 10 years old next year. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it today. Infinity War, this is the first film, and the film that's going to culminate of everything comes out next year.
Oh, yeah, so Infinity War is going to be the anniversary movie. I didn't think about that.
That's a good
Yeah,
timing.
so this is insane.
Now, that logo they just showed, that's the same Marvel logo that's been in every Marvel movie, but for the first time it said Marvel Studios instead of just Marvel.
And it gets longer and longer every movie.
What were you guys' expectations when this movie was coming out?
I was like 7 years old, so I didn't have any expectations.
Well, I was a big fan of Iron Man in the 90s. I loved reading Iron Man when I was in high school. And I even watched the animated TV show, even though it was definitely second, maybe even third tier compared to Spider-Man and the X-Men. But I was really excited for this movie. I mean, everything I saw about it during the production, all the stills and everything. In fact, when they first announced that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be playing Iron Man, I thought it was brilliant casting because anybody familiar with the character knows that Iron Man has a bit of a drinking problem. And if you're going to cast a substance-abusing superhero, who better than Robert Downey Jr. to play him?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I was excited for something new because I was still, in the Spider-Man stage of it all when Spider-Man was ruling the world and Fantastic Four and all that. So Iron Man was one of those characters growing up I didn't really know about because I was just more with Spider-Man and DC. So I was just excited for something new. And I was very impressed when I finally got it.
And this really did, for those in the audience that don't know, I am currently writing a book on superhero movies and the evolution of superhero movies. And I'm actually writing about the MCU Phase 1 right now. And I was writing that it is, if you look at the way things evolved, Iron Man is the happy middle in between Spider-Man and Batman Begins because The Dark Knight hadn't come out yet. It came out the same year this did. But if you look at the hyper-realistic Batman that was in Batman Begins and then the very, very comic booky Spider-Man, Iron Man really is the middle ground. And I think that's part of what helped Marvel to set the standard that they still own to this day.
Yeah. And I love the beginning of this film. Like, it really throws you in it. And then you see the Stark bomb is about to land, and you're just like, oh, that's him.
I actually do. I agree. I do like that they started it with this and then go back to, a couple weeks ago or whatever it is that they go back to. I like that that it's non-linear the first, hour or so or half hour or so. I like that They did that.
This is good. It's exposition, but it's good exposition. The way they start out this, like, he's winning an award, so of course, yes, they would go, oh, well I'm wrong scene, but we're going to transition into that soon. I'm getting ahead of myself, but, like, this, the way they transition into, like, he's getting an award, so of course they're going to go back into his life and, you know, see his achievements and where he came from. So I just thought that was a good way to handle the exposition of explaining where Tony Stark came from, and then you bounce off of that and you get to see who Tony Stark is today. And, you know, with his gambling and whatnot. So I really enjoyed that. So, yeah, this is where it's introducing, you know, Tony Stark and his life.
And this is, Marvel comic book characters have always been known for their flaws, for their shortcomings. You know, Daredevil can't see. You know, Spider-Man struggles with money and with social awkwardness and stuff like that. But this was the first movie where the character's flaws, I felt, seemed really organic. You know, Tony Stark's flaws obviously being that he's full of hubris and he's an alcoholic or on his way to becoming an alcoholic. They really explore that more in the second movie. But he's a gambler. He doesn't give a shit. He gives his award to some freaking actor at the casino dressed as a Roman soldier, you know?
He gives it to Caesar.
Like, he really just doesn't give a shit. And I like how organic it feels, you know? It makes Tony Stark is a real person. Definitely way more real than Peter Parker ever was in the Sam Raimi movies, and definitely more real even than Bruce Wayne was in the Christopher Nolan movies. Even though Christopher Nolan did a really good job with those movies, you know, sometimes Bruce Wayne doesn't come off as an actual person. Whereas here, Tony Stark definitely does.
Yeah.
And I even wonder how much of Robert Downey Jr. is in Tony Stark.
A lot of them.
I think it's a lot of Robert Downey Jr. in Tony Stark. You know, he's always been that kind of larger than life type of actor. But I mean, when I came into this film with no knowledge of the character, I honestly, when I was a kid, I thought Iron Man was literally just a robot.
Me too.
And Tony Stark was just the guy who created Iron Man. I didn't think that Iron Man was Tony. Even when I saw it in the Spider-Man cartoon, when they did the crossover in the 90s, I never thought that he was actually Iron Man. And so I came into this with no knowledge, just that I actually saw it years after it came out when Iron Man 2 was coming out, because my boyfriend at the time wanted to see Iron Man 2, and I was like, well, I can't really see it if it's the second movie, so we're gonna have to watch the first one. And I had always liked Robert Downey Jr., and so I knew about his struggles, so I thought it was kind of I find it awkward when actors play to kind of who they are or who they were in the past, because it's almost like tempting fate, and you have to be a really strong actor to be able to pull that off and not kind of fall back into old habits. Because as much as you're an actor, it is a addiction and a drug. So if you are an addict, like an alcoholic or a drug addict, which Tony Stark is an alcoholic, and so was Robert Downey Jr. back in the day. He's beaten his battles. Good for him. I'm not downplaying what he's gone through, but you have to be a really strong person to be able to be like, okay, I'm going to act like this kind of person again, when that's something that I've had to overcome over years of battling my demons. So, well, you really have to give him credit for that.
Well, and this was his comeback. Like, and talk about, like, coming back with a vengeance, you know? I mean, Robert Downey Jr., before Iron Man, you know, when they say, you know, Robert Downey Jr. is going to be Iron Man, I imagine a lot of people were like, that guy from those John Hughes movies? Because that's, you know, he really hadn't done anything since the mid-90s, and he was known for, you know, the stuff that he was in the 80s and the early 90s, as kind of a teenage, college-age actor, as a 20-something. And yeah, he spent a lot of time in prison, so he was out of Hollywood for a while. And this was, his triumphant return. And I mean, he knocks it out of the park. Really.
Avert your eyes, children.
Wait, what?
I said avert your eyes, children. It's a sex
Oh
scene.
yeah. Not a very good one.
Right.
For some reason,
Like
in 2000,
that's the most awkward sex scene I've ever seen in my life.
I know. I can't. I don't know how he gets out the ladies with that kind of sex. Honestly.
In 2008, Marvel really liked sex scenes because there was another one in Incredible Hulk.
I love
there's
Jarvis.
the start of one, and
I
then
love
his heart
Jarvis.
monitor goes off.
Yeah. Every man's worst dream.
Oh goodness. This looks like such a a Windows Movie Maker type typing at the bottom in this film where they're telling the locations and like time frame and everything. It not very much effort put into that. It's just
Now,
like
I really like.
Of course, they
Jarvis,
haven't really changed that.
I really like that they made Jarvis an AI. I like that he's not a real person because in the comic books he's a literal butler.
Yeah, I think they avoided that Batman comparison.
Yeah,
well, he's a real
like
person on Agent Carter.
And,
So
it fits Tony.
Oh yeah,
Stark.
he is actually. Yeah.
Yes, he is. You're right.
And
I
it
like
fits
Paul
Tony
Bettany
Stark,
as Jarvis,
obviously.
though. He was a real person at some point because he has a stocking. Like Tony made, there's some Christmas scene. I can't remember which movie it was, but
No, he was
there's
a real
stocking
person.
for Jarvis. Like you see it.
Yeah, he was a real person. They showed the real Jarvis was in Agent Carter. He was somebody that Howard Stark employed back then. But he was a character on Agent Carter.
And he probably looked over Tony as he got older. So.
Yeah,
maybe.
Like a father figure. So, what do we think of Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts?
I love her.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Gwyneth Paltrow, to be honest, but I love her in these movies.
I think she was good in Iron Man. I didn't like her in Iron Man 3, and I hate her in the Avengers. I barely fucking remember anything about Iron Man 2.
Yeah, she's not really in the Avengers much. She's doing her little barter or banter back and forth between...
Well, the, one or two scenes that she's in that movie, it was just like, no.
I like how they got her into the Avengers, because you kind of need... because it was another thing of like, oh my god, there's another character, other from the MCU other than, the Avengers that we're meeting. So that was pretty cool.
I just, I like Gwyneth Paltrow. I've seen her in a lot of other things. And I like that she can kind of hold her own against Robert Downey Jr. She doesn't take his shit. It's much like, when Scarlett Johansson comes in the second film, without giving too many spoilers, she kind of takes over the role of Pepper Potts without the whole romantic tie.
She's Black Widow, guys.
But I like that she's the one normal thing, honestly, in almost the entire MCU. Everybody is somebody in the MCU, and Pepper Potts is just there, and at least at first.
Yeah.
And I liked that.
Until she turns into a...
I
fire
said
monster.
at least at first.
God.
I said at least at first, okay? Okay, so what do we think of the fact that Rhodey got replaced?
He deserved it.
I don't...
Yeah,
I mean, it's a fucked up situation.
I wanted more money when he was
Howard
getting paid.
But didn't he help him get the role in the first place?
No. Yeah, he did, and he was the first person hired. Yeah, he was the first person hired onto Iron Man. And he got paid more than Robert Downey Jr. on this movie.
Well, I knew Jon Favreau really wanted Robert Downey Jr., but did Terrence Howard have anything to do with it?
I'm pretty sure.
I think he said he helped him out.
Yeah. Like, he knew him,
John
so
Favreau
helped
didn't
get him
want Robert
hired.
Jr.
No, Jon Favreau did.
Yeah, Marvel didn't want him.
Marvel didn't want him. Yeah, that was kind of a risk for Marvel to do, to trust them.
They didn't want to
in hiring
their
this guy.
first movie in their cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Because they wanted Tom.
Well, I mean, he was in the Hulk, wasn't he?
I think Robert Downey Jr. is better, but I think Tom Cruise would have actually
did the Hulk come first, or did this?
No, Iron Man came first by a couple of months.
Okay.
By a month, yeah.
Iron Man was
but they were around the same time.
Yeah. They were both 2008. Iron Man was like May, and the Hulk was like July.
June.
It was June.
Was it June?
Yeah, it was June 13th.
Okay.
I love this scene.
This seems like he could have.
Now, I do think I like the chemistry between Terrence Howard's Rhodey and Tony better than I do.
Yeah, they seem
with
more
Don
like
Cheadle's Rhodey.
I can see that.
Yeah. Because see, here's the thing: is that Terrence Howard comes off as "I like you, you're my friend. We legitimately are friends, but sometimes you piss me the fuck off." And I don't really get that from Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle's more like, I like you because I have to work with you.
Yeah.
And we get along, but you really piss me the fuck off.
I just think with Don Cheadle, they were trying to replicate what had already been there, which was hard, and it took them a little while to actually get there.
But I think a lot of it had to do with the age gap too, because Don Cheadle is quite a bit older than Terrence Howard, and he just plays different characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like Don Cheadle's more because they actually gave him more to do.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's my
Had they not fired Terrence Howard, they would have given him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. I don't like how Rhodey's used in this film, though.
I like Don Cheadle, and I like Don Cheadle as War Machine. But a part of me would like to have seen what Terrence Howard could have done before.
Oh, no,
because he's got that sense of humor that Don Cheadle, I don't think, is he can't. It's like he can't banter with Robert Downey Jr. like Terrence Howard was able to. It was very natural with Terrence Howard, whereas Don Cheadle.
Terrence Howard has the personality of a pilot. Don Cheadle doesn't have that.
I mean, guys, they barely have in this movie. They barely actually have scenes together.
But the fact that they were able to do so much with their scenes, the thing is,
this movie is literally them.
The fact that they're able to do so much with what little they have in the scenes speaks volumes. So the fact that we're sitting here saying that they had a great chemistry and that they had a great banter, and they only had the few scenes in one movie to do that, whereas Don Cheadle had many movies to do that, that speaks volumes.
Well, guys are saying that. Now. I'm not saying.
Hold on. Like just now, okay? Tony says to Rhodey, he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is the fun V. The humdrum V is back there." And then when they rescue Tony, the first thing out of Rhodey's mouth is, "So how was the fun V?" And that's not, I can't hear Don Cheadle delivering that line. Definitely not the way Terrence Howard did. And it's a great line.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, bottom line, I would have liked to see Terrence Howard take on the role, but I still like Don Cheadle's interpretation of Rhodey. Because they just give him one.
Yeah, he did a good job, don't get me wrong. I just don't, I think that Terrence Howard could have done more with it had he been given the opportunity.
I didn't like Don Cheadle in
What the hell was that? It sounded like somebody whose record died.
Sounds like one of Charlie Brown's parents.
Yeah.
I think it's Miller. I think Miller's going out on us again.
Yeah, it's your mic. Something's wrong with your mic, Miller.
Oh.
Maybe.
So, who is this actor that I never figured that out? Who's the actor that is helping? Oh, Tony.
He's nobody.
Ho Jensen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the character's name's Ho Jensen, and I'm looking at the actor up right now.
Yeah, she's asking about the actor.
Yeah, Sean Tobe.
He's interesting.
That's one thing.
Yeah, I really loved him in this role.
That's one thing that I love about these Iron Man movies is that all of these when Iron Man was created in the 60s, his origin obviously took place in Southeast Asia, in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And then, of course, now they've updated it, so it's in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Because that's who we're currently at war with. But I like that even though they ported the characters, from Southeast Asian to Middle Eastern, the names are still the same. His name is still Jensen, which is definitely an Asian name.
So
I mean, even Ho is an Asian name. It's not a Middle Eastern name. And
oh, good. That's not good.
They still call him the Mandarin, even though he's supposed to be a Middle Eastern terrorist. Which Mandarin is definitely specific to China.
Yeah. The shrapnel stuff and everything, I have the hardest time. Like, well, I mean, has anybody done like the research on this that this would be feasible?
It doesn't have to be.
Because
someone putting a high tech battery in their chest and then
it's an electromagnet.
Well, whatever. But
I mean, this just seems. Well, I know, but
I've never looked up whether or not it's medically possible, and why have I not?
Yeah,
because this movie does a good job of not making me care. Like this movie does, it does a good job of the more fantastic stuff. The way it does everything, you don't think about how plausible things are because you're just going with the movie, and that's a testament to the quality of this movie.
I buy it.
I will say it's changed a little bit. In the comics, he actually has an artificial heart. It's not, it's not keeping the shrapnel away from his heart. He has a fake heart.
That kind of makes a little bit more sense, honestly, because the shrapnel, like it showed in later films, would eventually, reach the heart.
That's the thing, though. That's the thing, though, is that's always
what I'm saying.
There. That's always there. That's always, this is something that could kill him. And it builds suspense for the character. Plus, it makes it easier for towards the end when he has the arc reactor taken out of his chest. Because if that was an artificial heart that was just being taken out, he would have died instantly.
Yeah.
So, and then that's the thing with films is that sometimes you have to look at making those changes so that something you want to pay off later works better.
And another thing in the comic book, that whole entire thing, like you're saying, the shrapnel would eventually reach his heart. If you read the Extremist comic book, that's one of the things he's talking about. He's like, I'm a dead man walking. Because it's always getting closer and closer to my heart.
Right.
Yeah. So he can do all the crazy stuff he does. And it's like, look, I'm going to die anyway. Might as well, have some fun with this in the meantime.
I wonder if he ever battled Magneto and he was just like, bro. He did me something.
Well, actually, the Iron Man armor is a gold titanium alloy, so Magneto actually shouldn't be able to control it because it's not magnetic.
Oh no, I'm talking about the shrapnel in his chest. Like, I wonder if he was ever just like. No, I wonder if he was ever just like, bro, can you do me a solid? Just like, can you pull some of the shit out of my heart?
Then a Fox executive comes out and is like, no.
And then a lawyer shows up like, you guys can't speak.
Oh my goodness. This is like, we're what, like 25 minutes in, and it's not boring even though all that we're doing throughout this entire time is basically exposition.
Did you say 25? Oh, well, I'm 22.
I'm 22.
Well, yeah,
she was
in that area.
But
okay.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is that origin stories have the tendency to be kind of boring, but this one really works. And I think part of the reason why it works is because you're not biding your time with the origin until you can, get to the actual movie. Like with most movies, you've got they're almost like two separate stories. You've got the origin and the front and then the rest of the movie. But with this, the origin is very much part of the story they're telling in this movie. So it's all necessary. And I think that's why it feels less boring than most origin stories are.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I like the music in this entire scene. The music, if you guys look it up, it's actually called I think Prince of Trinkets or Trinkets for a Prince. But the musician who does it, I'm going to butcher his name. I'm sorry. It's Rahad Damanji. But he actually does the music for Westworld, Game of Thrones. He did the music for Pacific Rim.
Sorry, did you say his
fantastic
name?
composer.
Did you say his name was Rahad Jumanji?
Yeah, something like that. I'm sorry. It was. I'm sorry, guys. It's Dewadi or something. But yeah,
I like
he's
Jumanji better.
Yeah.
But he's a fantastic composer. This is honestly one of the best scores of the entire MCU. I really like this. It just fits Iron Man so well and Tony Stark. So I really like the techno vibe to it. He just does an amazing job throughout the film.
Well, and I also like, the terrorists want him to build them a missile, and so he gives them the materials that he needs to just build what the fuck he wants. And like, he doesn't give a fuck about their missile. The first thing he does is build a better freaking battery for his heart, so he doesn't have to carry car battery around.
And I like how the terrorists are just like, okay, we'll give you that one. That's smart.
Yeah. Well, yeah, until eventually they're like, all right, we're tired of your shit. Where's the fucking missile?
Yeah.
Another thing that I like is when they start to build the actual Iron Man armor, they actually build what the first appearance of Iron Man looked like. Usually in these kind of movies,
I did notice that.
Usually in these kind of movies, they'll skip that. They'll just automatically go to the updated version of whatever costume or whatever they're having. I like that they actually did the original Iron Man, and it looks like something that he would have built in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah, and he actually had flamethrowers too, which is always good.
Right. Oh yeah, flamethrowers were great.
So,
it would have been a bit. Oh, sorry.
So, am I the only one that thinks that Jensen looks like an older David S. Goyer?
Yes, you would be the only one.
Do not bring that name up here.
Actually, if I'm being honest, I think he kind of looks like Rags Morales. And there's Cricket, so obviously nobody else knows who that is.
I've heard the name, but I can't put the name to the face.
He's
he's
a comic book artist. He drew Identity Crisis. He drew a bunch of stuff. He's famous.
Oh. It's weird for me to watch this film because I have a lot of I have bad memories with this film. But it's one of the only films that I can watch that pertains to the time of my life that I can still watch it.
This is important. I really like that he doesn't draw the blueprint on any one single sheet of paper. You have to put a stack of them and flatten them out on a light table in order to see it. So if they find those papers, all they see is parts. They don't see the whole. I really thought that was a brilliant detail for Jon Favreau to include in this movie. And I have to say, Jon Favreau is a brilliant filmmaker.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, like, I wonder if Ho was just like, you want to build a robot? Like, that's our plan here.
Well, Stark is well known, obviously. All this stuff has his name on it. So I think he knows that this guy's a genius. He knows what he is doing, per se. So he's not going to question it. He knows he's going to die anyway. He's been saying that from the beginning. So, he's going to help Stark in whatever way he can because he knows Stark has an idea of what he wants. He's not going to question that because this guy is very well known for knowing what he's doing, even if he's kind of.
And I like the whole entire. And I like the whole entire you're a man with everything but nothing that gives him another push. Because Jensen really does shape Tony Stark's life in a big way. Like, he's the first person, he's seen die in front of him. He's just like, don't waste your life, man. You got to, keep on going. So he leaves a big mark on his life. And then they're just like, that doesn't look like a fucking missile.
Yeah, I love that. They're looking at, what he's building, and they're looking at the missile, and you can see them, even though they're talking in Arabic, you don't know what the fuck they're saying. You can tell by their mannerisms that they're just like, what the fuck is this? Is not the fucking missile.
Missiles don't have fists on them. Maybe he's building a fist missile.
Right. Look, he's literally got a freaking leg. What's he building a leg for?
Yeah.
A leg for
Maybe
a
we can kick the enemy. Jonathan, shut the fuck up. And then there's this guy that I thought was going to have a bigger part, but he's just a guy who looks really evil.
Yeah, there's just some actors that are good like that. It's like,
looks like Emotep from The Mummy.
Yeah.
And then his next major role after this, he plays a Starfleet captain. So
that gets killed in the first 10 minutes.
Oh,
yeah. But he gets killed in a really cool way.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
And then he plays Cobra in G.I. Joe Retaliation, but they replace his voice.
Oh, he was Cobra Commander in G.I. Joe Retaliation?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever realized that.
You won it, man.
Yeah, they couldn't get Joseph Gordon-Levitt back, so
I'd improvise. I hate that, like, they were hinting at Khan. Like, if you know who the Mandarin is, they were hinting at Genghis Khan, but that never really paid off anywhere.
Well, because this organization is the Three Rings isn't the organization that
the 10 Rings.
No, 10 rings. Yeah,
that's hinting at the Mandarin because the Mandarin has those 10 rings that can, they're mystical rings.
Well, yeah, but isn't that the organization that Guy Pearce is a part of in Iron Man 3?
Yes. Guy Pearce is the Mandarin. That's why people are pissed off. Because they were told it was Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley knocked it out of the park for the first half of that movie. And then they're like, oh, no, wait a minute. He's just some slobbering British wanker. Instead, Guy Pearce is the Mandarin. And that's when people rioted, to be honest.
Yeah.
And he didn't even have the fucking rings.
Well, I'm just surprised they didn't.
Iron Man 3 really isn't a terrible movie. The Mandarin thing is really what ruins it.
Well, I'm just surprised they didn't wrap it around. More than one thing that ruins it, but the first
that's
I really don't. I think that's an enjoyable movie through the first half until the Mandarin reveal, and that's when you're like, fuck this movie.
That's a conversation for another day.
When we do the Iron Man 3.
When we do the Iron Man 3. We got to do Iron Man 2 so we can rip that movie apart.
Oh, God.
I like Iron Man 2.
I always thought this
I don't hate Iron Man 2.
Like
I like Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 is the black sheep of the Marvel family.
I disagree.
It can go die.
It's watchable. It has its moments. The thing I like about it, just a short spiel on it. The thing I like about it, it's the day in the life of a superhero. That's one thing I do like about that film. But it's still just like, I mean, coming after Iron Man 1, you're just like, really?
There was a lot of studio and interference on that one.
Yeah, and they had to rush it out, too, because they were just like, wait, Iron Man had made a lot of money.
Well, and it was a 2-year gap, which is really quick for a movie. That's really quick turnaround for a sequel.
Yeah, that's what did, I think that's part of what did Apocalypse.
Well, yeah, because they were doing the Wolverine movies in between, and then at some point they decided, well, let's just do them concurrently or whatever.
Yeah.
I love this suit up sequence. Like, all the suit up sequences in this film are great, but it's like this shit's getting real.
And I could die doing this, but we're gonna try it.
What if they shoot me in the eye hole? Don't worry about it.
Where is it? Oh,
right?
Yeah, they don't know.
Yeah, eventually you'll have, plexiglass in there or something.
I wonder if they sat around the fire just like, okay, then when I get back home, we're gonna make it fly, and then we're gonna have it shoot laser beams and missiles.
Yeah, I don't think this one flies. It just doesn't fly for very long.
It kind of jumps in a way.
Yeah. Well, the way I see that scene playing out is there's that line where he tells Ho Jensen what the arc reactor, what energy it can put out, and Ho says, well, that's could power your heart for 50 lifetimes, and then he says, or something big for 15 minutes. So the way I took it was it just ran out of power. His 15 minutes were over.
They did a clever thing with the marketing, like kind of what Darren was tapping into, with making the bald guy look like the evil guy, but it turns out the other bald guy in the movie was the evil guy.
Right.
In summation, don't trust bald guys.
Yeah. It's always the one who accepts the award for it.
Your mic's going out again, Miller.
Say what? Wait, what did Miller say?
It's always the one who accepts the award for you, like he did at the beginning.
Yeah. I wonder if Thanos is bald.
That guy's bald.
Oh, Thanos is bald.
See,
don't trust bald guys.
Oh, Thanos. I thought you said if anyone else is bald.
Oh, no.
He's not completely bald, though. He's got hair on the side.
Yeah, exactly. He has hair. That's what keeps the...
It's just the clean-shaven bald guys that you got to worry about. Lex Luthor, Obadiah Stane, this fucknut.
Corey Stahl. You see, the hair keeps the good inside.
Captain Picard. Patrick Stewart's kind of a dick, so...
He's not bad. He's not a bad villain, though.
Not more than William Shatner is.
No, he's not. He's not a villain on the show. He's a villain in real life.
Again, no more than William Shatner is.
But Will, even more when Tom Hardy played his twin in Nemesis.
So yeah, that's guys, always okay. I don't have a problem with Shinzon being bald, but why in the pictures of Tom Hardy being, Picard as a young kid, why did he not have hair in those pictures? That bugs me.
Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple of scenes where they had still photographs of Picard as a kid in, like, the Starfleet Academy, and it was Tom Hardy. But he was still bald.
Yeah,
it was just a quick thing.
Stay on target. But I wonder what happened to Jensen when he rounded that corner. Like, was he riddled by bullets, or...
What do you mean?
Oh, probably.
I wouldn't see that. It's like... Ah!
Violent much?
I wonder how many more terrorists he could have killed if he hadn't have wasted all those bullets shooting into the ceiling.
Well, I don't think he wanted to kill anybody.
Well, that was his first mistake then. These are bad guys. You have to kill them.
But remember, he was already suicidal. He never wanted to leave. He wanted to join his family. He wanted to get Stark out, really. I love that shot. Had the POV of the gun. I love that.
And honestly, it is great how good that, Tales of Suspense, I think it's number 39 was the first appearance of Iron Man. It's great how awesome that suit actually looks in live action.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look campy or cheesy. It's believable.
Yeah. And I love this, like how he bangs him against the door. I fucking love this shit.
This is like Darth Vader.
Ah!
Help us. Take it. Launch!
Oh my goodness.
Look at their faces. They're like, oh, fuck. That guy's running away.
Yeah.
And then we have those MCU moments. Oh, his hand got stuck.
Huh, yeah.
How the fuck did his hand get stuck?
Oh!
Get shot in the face. Jensen!
Evil bald guy.
No.
Oh, okay. Evil bald guy won. Jensen!
Does he have any lines in this movie, or does all he do is just stand around and look scary?
I think he was talking earlier.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was doing the whole entire Genghis Khan. He was doing the Genghis Khan speech.
Oh, and he talks to Obadiah Stane later. But yeah, for the most part, he just stands there and looks menacing.
Yeah.
And we'll pay you a day rate of $5,000. Oh, okay.
Please. Obvious character death is obvious.
Yeah.
Ding. This was sad when I first saw it, though. I was just like,
it was sad. It's like, oh, and his family.
It's like this is his with great power comes great responsibility.
Oh gosh. And nobody can ever say that again, but we have to say some variation of it. in every single movie.
You have to have the responsibility to do these things. What?
Yeah, that was worse than just not saying it. Like, just say it.
Yeah, just freaking say it.
Honestly, it pissed me off that Uncle Ben doesn't say that in The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. I mean...
And this part CGI...
I mean, if they had, they might have gotten into it.
I mean, I kept waiting for that one line because it's so iconic. I kept waiting for it, and I was so mad when I didn't get it.
Is that, like, only to the movie, though, or is that, like, a comic book thing that had been in the comic book?
Oh, no, that's comic book thing. Oh, yeah, that's...
Oh, then they should be able to say it.
Those
I don't
are
know why
Stan
it's a big
Lee's.
deal that they
Those
can't
are
anymore.
Stan Lee's words.
Just because they want to try to be different.
Oh, my God, the flamethrower.
He's
just because that one Uncle Ben did it so well. Too. Oh, I know. That's pretty insane how he's able to do it that far.
Yeah, the range on it is a little unrealistic, but just
a little, but
it's cool.
You know,
don't care.
It's cool.
And
yeah,
I love that he's just destroying all of his own products and stuff. He's just like, I'm not gonna take this back. Maybe make a profit.
Well, he doesn't really believe it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, well, yeah, he just wants them gone.
Yeah.
And also, those weapons are hurting people, so just
True.
get rid of them.
You know.
Well, and not only that, but he even says.
But what does he expect to do? It's a fucking bomb.
He watched those weapons kill the people that they were created to protect. So he's kind of pissed off right now.
Yeah.
He's kind of lost his faith in the world.
And now he's just like, I could get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, in movies later, he wants to be held accountable and everybody controlling what he does. That makes sense.
And movies later, hey, Ultron's a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's a hypocrite.
Oops. 15 minutes are up, buddy.
Oh. Did anyone ever play the video game for this?
That's freaking
yeah,
it's horrible. Okay. It's fucking so bad.
It's okay.
You thought it was okay? I played like the demo and I'm like,
the other one's like, no.
I played the demo and I'm like, these controls are awful. What the heck? Who programmed this?
It's unnecessarily hard.
Yeah,
I will say that.
Yeah.
It looks nice, but
nothing is as unnecessarily.
What?
Nothing is as unnecessarily hard as Superman 64.
This has just gotta suck. I mean, even though in the corner there's like buffet table. No, just like the heat and the like. Even though in the corner there's a buffet table and some water and some whatever like.
Yeah, that's what.
Don't look this way.
Legit.
They probably just did what they did in the Blair Witch Project, where they didn't feed them for a while and just made them chase a piece of meat.
Oh, I know, right? That's what they did have to do. Like, they literally, that whole thing, like, they did do that for Blair Witch, was they did leave them alone and were like, hey, we're going to make these noises happen. We're going to make this happen. And they had the one girl, like, she legitimately was freaked out. Like,
wait, what
of course,
what did he do to get them?
Happened to be on the one helicopter that actually found him.
Oh, they were looking for him already. Okay.
I mean, you gotta think how many teams did they have out there looking for him though, and then Rhodey just happened to be on the one that found him.
Yeah,
but that's movie logic.
You would think there'd be more than one helicopter too, like have like a group and everything. Like,
well, they went.
There were three that.
They went in different directions though.
Yeah, there were three that flew over, so
you could have been all over.
This is so like, heart-wrenching.
The music.
This is like the hero returning home. Like, this is like the hero returning home moment. Like, any military movie, any, like, whatever. Like,
he's just like, yeah, I'm a badass.
Yeah. And the music in this is,
oh my gosh, it's like hitting my heart.
I love how the first thing he does, or the first thing he wants when he gets back to civilization is a cheeseburger.
Yeah. That's so, like, legit, though. That, like, that's the most American thing ever, though. Right. It's like, I want a cheeseburger.
Where would you guys go? What burger place would you guys go to?
He goes to Burger King. I'd probably go to Rally's.
How about you guys?
I would go to Wendy's. I like Wendy's.
Yeah, maybe Wendy's.
I would probably go to Wendy's, too.
I'd go to Rally's, too, but There's no longer rallies over here, so.
That wasn't the question, Dylan.
Maybe In-N-Out because they're so big and
In-N-Out, no, In-N-Out, I forget about them because they're only on the West Coast, but they are the greatest hamburger place.
Oh, they're like the biggest, most greasy burger. So if you haven't had a burger in forever,
yeah, they're
growing up
burger
in
you want
Southern
to get.
California. Growing up in Southern California, I miss In-N-Out.
But this was like some sort of like product placement thing, so of course it's gotta have Burger King. Make sure you see the Burger King thing.
Get your Iron Man toys at Burger King now.
Oh, there's
Until
Agent
Disney
Coulson.
said we're cutting that shit out.
Yeah.
And then there's Agent Coulson.
But Disney didn't own them at this point, Darren.
I used to love Agent
I'm
Coulson
talking
as
when
a
they
character, and then they gave him his own show.
They should have just let him be killed off. They shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Because it made it so powerful.
What they should have done is made Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. not crap. Then I could have still liked the character.
But no, the guy, it made it so powerful that, he died because he believed in this and he wanted them to, band together. He died for a purpose, but then just to bring it back, you can't trust Marvel anymore if they kill someone off and because it's no, they'll be back in the next movie or something.
There's still some debate.
There's still some debate.
Not
There's
everyone
still
has been
some
back,
debate as whether or not the TV is canon to the movies.
Josh Whedon said he's still dead.
The second Avengers movie starts off with something that they're doing because of something that has to do with the TV show. So
True,
it is canon.
No, but not necessarily though, because they
not
never
necessarily, even though that's how they started out.
They never acknowledged that Coulson is alive in the movie.
And Joss Whedon,
I know what.
And Joss Whedon said that's by design. He said that as far as at least Joss Whedon is concerned, which Joss Whedon is out now, I totally get that. But Joss Whedon said as far as he's concerned, Coulson is fucking dead and he's not going to be in the movie. Now, again, that could change. The Russos could change that. But as of right now, if you don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., then that death still has weight, is my point.
Except
if you don't know about
everybody
Agents
knows
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
he's alive. Everybody fucking knows he's alive. So, and if you don't, I'm sorry that I fucking spoiled that for you, but...
I'm sorry that you've been living under a rock for...
If you're watching this commentary, you know.
It's completely... Yeah, it's completely... The point of, I get that maybe, the Avengers would know, but fucking Cap would know. Cap would know because he's, been into S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff. He's been working with S.H.I.E.L.D.
He didn't know there was Hydra.
Yeah.
Well, nobody knew there. Except for the people.
If you were gonna bring, if you were gonna
know
bring
that there
Coulson,
was Hydra.
If you were gonna bring Coulson back, into the movies after the Avenger, the Winter Soldier would have been the movie to do that in. Since that was so S.H.I.E.L.D. centric. Have
fucking Nick Fury and Nick Fury die, but then not die, and no, it has to be about freaking Samuel L. Jackson because he's the boss and everything. Don't even get me started.
No, because he's motherfucking Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, whatever. He's
Quicksilver hasn't come back.
I'm still waiting for that. Because there's even some fan theories that he's not dead too because something happened, some
Quicksilver's not gonna come back because Fox and Marvel made a deal and one of them could use twins. And Quicksilver's not coming back.
Eric Taylor Johnson's doing much better things.
I think that's just speculation. I don't know. I
liked him as Quicksilver though. My gosh, talk about upgrading because he's that kid in Kick-Ass, and he looks a lot better as Quicksilver. Just saying.
He's big. He's big in Kick-Ass 2 as well. Yeah. And honestly in Kick-Ass 2, it's kind of hard to see him as the nerdy kid he was in Kick-Ass 1.
Yeah.
Because he's just so fucking beefcake in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I love about this scene?
What?
Obadiah standing in his grave.
Yeah.
Aren't they only a couple years apart in age, and he's supposed to be a lot older than him?
He is a lot older.
I mean, Obadiah's probably 50, right? 50, 55?
Yeah, but...
how old's Jeff Bridges?
Jeff Bridges is they're not that far apart. They're maybe
70. No, Jeff Bridges is fucking old, man.
No. Hold on.
Yeah.
Darren, are you looking this up?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Yeah.
Is Robert Downey Jr.
Jeff Bridges is 67.
67.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah, now
Robert Downey
he was
Jr.'s
57 back then.
Yeah, but Robert Downey Jr. was younger.
It's still
too.
an age grab. Robert Downey Jr. was like 40.
Yeah, but that's not enough of an age gap that it's like.
Oh, it's a pretty big age gap.
It's enough to be his
17-year age gap.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got to think when Tony Stark was graduating
this is
high
so
school.
stupid. This little, I don't know what it's supposed to be parodying or whatever.
It's not
it looks
parodying
like that,
anything. This
Mad
is a real
Money.
TV show.
It looks like
Yeah,
that
Mad Money's a
shit
real
that
thing.
like
Yeah, no, it's not
Gerard
parodying
Butler
anything.
did.
This is real.
Gerard Butler did in The Ugly Truth, his little like spiel of like the ugly truth. That's what this looks like.
I like this actually. I
Retarded.
like when they use real TV personalities to do the news on a movie. Like later on, I think it's in this movie, but I think it might be Iron Man 2. They have Bill O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes it more tangible.
And Psylocke.
Yeah.
This scene. Oh no. Oh, I'm Pepper in this scene because I'm like, no.
That's another thing.
No.
That's another thing with product placement. When done right, product placement adds a level of realism to a movie.
Yeah.
Now there are ways to do it wrong. Smallville did it wrong all the time. Like they would stop in the middle of an episode to do a commercial. But when they just have like, you know, a Pepsi can sitting on a table where you can clearly see it's Pepsi, I like that. That adds a genuine sense of believability to the film.
Okay, why wouldn't you have like Jarvis do that with that like arm thingy over there
Because
instead of
Jarvis
having her
isn't
do
real.
that? Yeah, but it's a machine
He
that
trusts-
can do it.
Jarvis
There's
is
an
just
arm
a-
thingy
he
right
trusts Pepper.
there. There's
I would
an arm
trust.
thingy
I would
right
trust a
there.
human being more than a computer to operating on my heart.
Yeah, but
Not
she's
only that,
not like
Not only
qualified.
that, but he calls the robotic arm dummy. That robotic arm is not smart.
Yeah, and then she does something and it's like causing an issue. Like she hits something. Like, oh my
she pulls off
gosh.
the magnet. But he didn't need it anyway.
This is awful. This is terrible. I
No,
can't.
this is
Regardless-
great. This is great for their characters. This is great character building right here.
Just this image right
Because-
here is really funny for some reason.
so
And
gross.
not only that, but you get to see how vulnerable Tony Stark really is because he puts on this air of invincibility. And right here, right now, especially when he tells Pepper, "You're all I have. I don't have anybody else." You get to see behind all of that. This is just good character development right here.
Yeah. And he's dying.
I'm dying,
Yeah.
so you're gonna have to do this.
I'm going
And
into
it's also-
cardiac
it's-
arrest. He's
I'm going
he's
into
dying
cardiac
and
arrest.
bantering at the same time.
And this is another element of exposition
Okay,
because
don't-
now
don't
we
keep
know
talking,
that
come
this
on.
is a vulnerable part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a vulnerable part of Tony Stark. Like, because
Oh my
later
gosh.
in the film they take out Stark again.
Oh,
And without this, he will die.
Yeah.
oh.
Oh, her hands are dripping. Ugh.
I love that he's just laughing at her now.
And the dummy's just like, I could have done it better.
Yeah. She's so pretty here, though. Like, she has such a refinement, like a very like she's not like, especially because they like dyed her hair red. Like, she's blonde, she's tall, she's got that whole Hollywood look, but they really made her look human.
Normal.
Here,
Yeah.
yeah, they made her look human instead of just that like Hollywood starlet.
She looks like a skeleton Iron Man too.
Well, yeah, I think there's
Yeah, Miller.
some issues
Yep,
there,
it is.
but
He's honest.
she looks.
I think she looks better. It looks fine in the other ones, but like she looks sick in that
she
movie.
looks normal. Yeah, I think there was some issues there, but it's not our judge. Our position to judge. What?
That's my
what-
Too
Yeah,
late
no,
for that.
It's not your position to judge.
I'm a
that,
critic.
Jesus.
That's all I do is judge.
Yeah, but
But,
when it comes to personal life, no.
Well, it could have been the makeup.
But
they gave
another
her, who
cool
knows?
thing. Another cool thing about this movie, they got to make up a lot of their dialogue. Because,
Yeah.
like, Marvel was still figuring out the story and where to go, so it was up to the actors to really craft the dialogue.
Yeah.
I love this. Speaking of unmanned, what was the? Tell them about the time you were wrong in Spring Break. What was his name? That lovely lady.
See, and that's what I'm like. They have such a good natural banter. Like, I think that I genuinely think that they were friends before this happened, and like some sort of falling out happened, and that's
like some sort of falling out as not being hired on for the sequel.
Well,
demanding too much
there was
money.
Something that happened behind the scenes that made him not be hired on. Like,
no, he asked for too much money.
He wasn't beefing with Robert Downey Jr. though. He was beefing with Marvel.
Yeah, it was an issue with Marvel. It wasn't with Robert. And
he wanted more money. I think he wanted more money for the sequel, and Marvel was like, "No, fuck you. We're not paying you any money. We already paid you a shit ton for the other."
Because
movie.
he was like their secure.
Okay.
He was one of their secure actors. Like, okay,
yeah,
we'll pay Terrence Howard a lot.
Exactly.
So, and then people would come see the movie for him.
His role would have been bigger in the second one, so it makes sense to
and he knew that. And honestly, he was banking on, well, they're not going to recast fucking War Machine.
Yeah.
And he was wrong.
Marvel's just like, fuck you.
I still think he could have done a good job as War Machine, because they really do have a great little repartee, and I don't see it with the other guy. They're too much like business people with each other.
You do see it a little bit. You do see it a little bit in Civil War, especially with the Tony Stank bit.
Yeah. And even when they're taking down Giant Man, you see that banter.
Nah.
Yeah. Where'd you find this kid? How old is he?
Yeah. Go low, Tony. Go low. Like you see that they are a team.
Who was the guy that was the head of Marvel? He was the head of Marvel for a while, and then
Dr. Doom's been here.
What?
It was Ike Perlmutter. It was Ike.
Yeah,
the mask looks like Dr. Doom. Look,
it does look
like fucking Dr. Doom.
He was the reason that they didn't get Terrence Howard back, because he was just a cunt, and he said something about, he was like, no one will notice because all black people look the same, and so he got what's up. And I was like, you're a fucking cunt.
I'm surprised there wasn't like a boycott then or something.
It's really funny when Marvel recast people, because they always recast people who look completely fucking different.
Well, I mean, they recast.
I think I think they're just like concerned with, like, okay, this guy looks more like him, but this guy does better in the part.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just like, okay, we're recasting Edward Norton. Let's get Mark Ruffalo.
Whatever. I liked Terrence Howard and Edward Norton better.
Edward Norton was a good Bruce Banner.
Yeah, I agree. I like Edward Norton better.
I like Mark Ruffalo better.
I don't know if it would have been.
I like them both.
Yeah, I like them both. Yeah,
I like them both.
I think they both did well.
More of a serious actor though, so I don't know how he would have held up against Robert Downey Jr. Because I do like. I'm big on banter. I like people who can have a good natural chemistry, especially in like a combination where you have people.
Edward Norton does banter very well.
Have you seen Birdman?
I just not like a funny.
Right, that's what I was gonna say. Did you see Birdman? He's great in that movie.
Birdman. I do need to see Birdman, but I mean in a funny type of way though, because he's always been a very serious actor. Everything I've seen him in is very, very serious.
Birdman. What's that other one he did with Woody? Not with Anderson. Moonshine Kingdom and Grand Budapest Hotel. That was another one. He can do comedic roles and banter really well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, I had
Moonrise Kingdom.
What's Edward Norton be a fucking dick when you come on for the Avengers?
Yeah,
I love this. I thought you're done working on weapons. It's not. It's perfectly harmless.
But I do want to know what Tony Stark had in mind before he was building a weapon, because he like the Mark II.
Well, like the repulsor was not the repulsor right there. That was meant to just be a flight stabilizer.
Yeah, because the only reason he turned into a weapon, he was just like, I gotta go take these guys out.
Honestly, I don't think it's until just right now that he realized it could be a weapon.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he realizes it can be a weapon until he sees the attack, and then he's just like, now.
So much like a fucking villain.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You got a bald guy, it's gonna be a villain, basically.
Fuck, I want some pizza now.
Yeah, pizza sounds really good.
That arc reactor is kind of
okay. So we're gonna pause the podcast. I mean, we're gonna pause the commentary right now.
We're all gonna order a pizza.
Did he just like cut that out of his shirt just so it would stick out?
Dude, what?
No, it is.
Yeah, well, I think no. Hold on, let's like look at it.
It's the light bleeding through the shirt.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It doesn't look like
Yeah, it comes out of the shirt.
No,
I'm pretty sure it's the light bleeding through.
How about we wait till it cuts back? How about we wait till it cuts back?
Yeah, because it might just be bleeding. Because I know in the future, like in other stuff, it's bleeding through the shirt, not.
That's cut out.
He cut it. Yeah, he cut it out.
Yeah, that's cut out.
Well, in later movies, it's just like Tisha said, just bleeding through. I guess it is kind of. Yeah, it is on top of the shirt. You're right.
On top of the shirt.
Tony Stark, you vain dick.
If you don't want to put a lot of effort into a Halloween costume, that'd be a cool one. Just.
Well, yeah, I've seen a lot of people cosplay just Robert Downey Jr. Like, I've seen quite a few guys who look like Robert Downey Jr. at fucking Comic-Con with that shirt. And it's like, can I get a picture? Because you basically are Robert Downey Jr.
This right here is the first scene of the movie I saw. These next 4 minutes of him testing it. Yeah, this was the first minutes. And I was just like, wow, that's kind of cool.
I remember when I was 7 years old and I saw this scene on Nickelodeon. I remember that.
Yeah, same here.
Wait, Darren,
no, I was on 7.
Nickelodeon.
Darren, did you not see this in the theater?
Oh, no, I did not see this in theater.
Oh.
This is very cool. And for the time, this is like really amazing to see.
Yeah, because they did it, like they actually held him up on the lines and everything, so it was cool.
Very practical.
And the music that goes along. Yeah, once again, the music that goes along with this scene is great.
And I like that he doesn't get it right away. Like, it's not like immediately easy for him, even though he's this wonder kid genius.
Because look, I mean, we all hate origin stories, but there is a I mean, not hate.
Oh, this is where I don't
tired of it.
Yeah, it gets a little old after you've seen so many.
But there's
depends how they
there's
do
always a wonder. Yeah, there's always a wonder of seeing the hero do it for the first time.
Yeah. I do like, though, that the Spider-Man that we're getting, it's not another fucking origin. It's just like... Yeah. And you know what I always... I find it funny because Robert Downey Jr. and... whatever her name is, Aunt May, they have actually acted together before in a romantic movie, Only You, and so I think that he kind of improvised, at least initially, the hitting on her type stuff.
I really hated that in Civil War, by the way.
Why?
Because they knew each other, they had worked together, so I think they've known each other for quite a few years. Because that movie's a little bit older. He was definitely younger when he did that film. And
because Miller, we talked about this when we did the Civil War commentary that I don't think ever got posted.
Yeah, that got deleted with everything else on my computer.
Well, we'll have to do that movie again. But
part of that.
Spider-Man says he's been Spider-Man for 6 months.
Yeah.
So you have to think Uncle Ben's been dead for about that long. The girl's wife's been dead for less than a year. Or Aunt May's husband has been dead for less than a year. And she's already freaking going after the Iron D. I just thought it was disrespectful.
I don't think she was.
He was just flirting with her.
No, she wanted into his iron jockstrap. She was.
I mean, he sits there and is like,
If Peter wasn't there, she would have been riding him on that couch.
Peter comes home. Oh my god.
Stay on target.
We are on target. We're talking about Iron Man.
Yeah, it's the same character.
Talk about Iron Man riding. You're talking about Iron Man riding Aunt May.
Right, we're talking about Iron Man.
This is really weird. Especially, why did
this score is called...
say why he painted it red and gold again, didn't they?
Yeah, they're gonna explain. It's he said it's he just wants it, to look cool.
Flashy.
Yeah, but I love the music in this scene. It's called Driving with the Top Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's hard to differentiate Tony Stark from Robert Downey. I always just call him Robert Downey Jr. because it's like they're one and the same practically. You know what I mean?
Iron Man's a dick to little kids with ice cream.
What did he do to him?
He just made that kid drop his ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
That's not his fault. The kid just
got too excited.
And I like how short this scene is, but it has a lot of impact. It's really fun.
Oh,
it's really, but it's just short.
You should know better than to try to go like that high. Like even
But
in a
that's part of his character. He doesn't know better. That's Tony Stark. He's always going to push the envelope.
Because he thinks he can do it.
And he's always going to push
He
the
always
envelope
can.
on
He
impulse without
always
thinking
can.
it through.
Oh, this is like, oh my god.
But again, you think this is just a funny, quirky scene, but this is important to shit that's going to happen in the third act.
Yeah.
Like, everything in this movie gets paid off.
Yeah. Which is very rare nowadays, but except
Nothing
Marvel,
is
like
set up
they
in this movie
plan
that
they
doesn't
plan
get paid off.
everything off. Like they plan everything. Marvel is like, we know exactly where we're going with this. Like even back now, they were like, okay, if this works, this is where we're headed. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I do think, not to be the feminist, and because I'm not a feminist, I really do not, see myself as a feminist, but I do lament that there aren't, Pepper Potts, she hasn't been in a film in how long,
Oh, she probably won't be in anymore. She's done.
I do lament that we don't really get females in these films as much anymore. I mean, we got
hopefully.
Don't get me wrong.
Hopefully Wonder Woman will change that.
Yeah, I feel like,
Oh fuck! Never mind. I laughed at that for a complete. Never mind.
That's not Marvel. That's DC. Like that's.
Yeah,
but still, I mean, that's still it's a superhero movie.
Yeah.
I love this proof that Tony Stark
Black
has a
Widow
heart.
and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, so.
Look at that little, like, he's so subtle sometimes. Like, sometimes he's so over the top, and sometimes he's, like, the most subtle. Like, he drives me nuts. He does. He can do it all.
Well, and the theme of heart does come back over and over again.
Yeah. At least it's not Christian Grey and say, well, some people say I don't have a heart. Because they know me better.
Did you just say Christian Grey?
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever mention that movie ever again.
I will.
I'll beat your ass, Miller.
Oh yeah, I like this Easter egg.
Isn't that the point?
I like this Easter egg. This is a Easter egg for the original Iron Man armor was gold.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
Oh yeah. That's right.
Well, the second Iron Man armor.
Yeah, their second
What
Iron
is
Man
that
armor was
he's
gold, so
drinking?
this is
Be your problem.
This is an Easter egg.
What is he drinking?
Chlorophyll. He explains that in Iron Man 2.
Ugh.
It fights off the poison that he's getting from the palladium.
Now it's under his shirt.
Well,
So
maybe
it's
he only
still
had
under
the
his
one
shirt.
cutout shirt.
I'm just saying that, like, he did.
He lost his.
The guy has shrapnel on his fucking chest. He's allowed to be inconsistent.
You know what? Shut up.
Leave him alone. Okay, and then
Yeah, that should help you keep a low profile.
This is still one of the best comic book costumes to come on screen because they really got it down right.
Yeah,
they really did, and it's not too. I know it doesn't look fake. Like a lot of it was practical, and then a lot of it was, computer and everything. It was a good mix. They didn't have to depend so much on CG like every fucking film does nowadays, and I like that. I miss that. We need to go back to that. We really do, because it just has gotten to, I mean, you've seen like the behind the scenes photos of the Avengers just in that room, and they're just like doing their junk, but they're not doing anything to anything because it's just all CG, and we don't know. Like, ugh. And the most random and short Stanley cameo I think there ever has been in a film just happened.
I think that's an awesome cameo. He's playing Hugh or Hef. Yeah.
Hugh Hefner. Yeah.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner.
Yeah,
and I buy it. Like
this.
I buy Stan Lee as Hugh Hefner. I buy it.
I would prefer.
In Iron Man 2, I buy him as freaking Larry King.
Yeah, they did do like a pretty awesome job making him look like Aaron. But anyway, so I'm just saying that it was a quick, like, most random one. I think one of the shortest ones that there has been of him in a film. And there's Agent Coulson again, because he's trying to get his attention.
Yeah. I remember thinking, like, he was just a nothing character. It's like, who the hell is this guy? Then by the time Thor got around, I was just like, it's Agent Coulson again!
I didn't even remember his name. Thor.
I would love this fucking dress.
Well, they said, I said Iron Man.
Well, yeah, and to be honest, he was a pretty major character in Thor.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he was. That was the cool thing about the cool thing about Thor. Like, he really got to play with another hero.
Yeah. And I like that he kind of got to be the bad guy too.
Yeah, and he was a bit of a badass too, like commanding everybody to.
It's not just
especially when he says to Thor, "You made my guys look like a bunch of minimum wage mall cops." That's hurtful.
Yeah.
Like, just the way he delivers that line is just badass.
Yeah.
That's how they started the teaser trailer too.
It really is amazing chemistry. I'm sure they're gonna get rid of him and make him like really into Aunt May in the future or something.
Oh, so, I hope to God they don't do that.
I'm all for it.
Oh, you know. Well, I mean,
like, I do not want to see more flirting. I do not want to see more flirting between Iron Man and Aunt May and Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Well, I mean,
I want to see more of it just to piss you off.
Yeah,
exactly.
He is going to be in there, though. And, like, you see that Peter is like, oh, yeah, you know, you're, like, the father figure and everything. So I can kind of see that
well, they're going to pull off
possibly happening.
In Spider-Man Homecoming, hopefully, what I don't think they did with the kid in Iron Man 3.
That will be an interesting dynamic in Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't know how big of a role Tony Stark has in that movie, but
they might be making it seem
Tony Stark obviously has an estranged relationship with his father. You know, a love-hate relationship with his own dad. And Peter didn't have a dad, and he had an Uncle Ben who's dead now. It'll be interesting to see that dynamic between those two characters more in depth from what we got in Civil War.
And what they tried to do in Iron Man 3.
Whatever happened to that kid? I'm not gonna lie. I want to see that kid come back.
He was in something. He's an actor. Like, he does.
Well, he meant that character.
Yeah. What, Hugh? Howie? I mean,
I don't. Yeah. I can't.
What kid are you talking about?
The kid from Iron Man 3.
Oh.
I remember he was in The Nice Guys, and I was like, Shane Black looking out for his people.
Yeah.
He's such a cock tease to her.
My favorite scene is coming up. One of my favorite scenes, I mean.
I like how they brought her back in Iron Man 2. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
That was...
Didn't she come back? Well, oh, no. And she's... if you guys have seen it, this is one of the best things I think Marvel's done, too. She's actually comes back for these little news reports. She did one for Ant-Man they put on YouTube, and then she did one
I remember. Yeah,
for Civil War. So it's just like, it makes it feel a lot more connected.
Oh, I think Ant-Man's like my favorite movie out of all of them.
It might be my favorite origin story. I mean, it's a toss-up between this one and between Iron Man and Ant-Man, but I like both of those films a lot.
Oh, yeah, and again, they did a good job of making the origin the movie. Not just having something you have to get through at the beginning of the movie. Like, it has a bearing on the entire story.
Dylan, were you gonna say something?
He's such a good bad guy. He did Tron too.
He wasn't a bad guy. Well, he was
like a few years after this.
Yeah, his avatar was the bad guy in Tron.
Yeah.
And Tron Legacy.
So Dylan, were you going to say something?
It's irrelevant now. Never mind.
Okay. Okay, so this always confuses me. Does she hear what he's saying to her? What he's saying to Tony?
I don't think so. But
well, it just looked like she's looking over there.
Tony
like
Stark's face. Like, you can see the actual moment where his heart falls out of his chest.
Yeah.
I wonder if it happened literally.
I do wonder if she heard, because it looked like she was looking over at him. Like,
she could have been just looking at him like, oh, they're having a conversation.
Yeah. But I love this fucking scene. No words, no dialogue. You can just see it in his face. The horror that he's going through. Like, this is my fault. Like, I love like what he's displaying here.
And I just love how there's a Wii sitting over there. That's beautiful.
There's a Wii?
Oh,
yeah, there's a Wii. There's a Wii sitting. You might be able to see it again. There's a Wii sitting on his TV stand.
It's popular back then.
I think it speaks to his
And that's how you know it is very dated.
Yeah, and I like how it's charging. Oh, there is a Wii. Huh.
Yeah, see. Is this the scene where he blows the TV up?
No, he blows all the glass. And the glass, too. Like, I like how he just, like, looks in the mirror, and he's just like, fuck
oh, he's, man. Like, so fucking pissed. I love it.
He's self-destructive.
He really has, like, he fucking owns this. It just kills me every time I watch this. Like, oh. You gotta give this man props. Because, like...
Oh, he gets all the props for me.
Like...
Not an Age of Ultron,
though. I want to protect the people.
Although I do love that moment where he's like, yay!
Oh, no, he has
so cute. It's just like...
It's just as a character,
oh, please be a secret entrance. Please be a secret entrance. Yay! Like, so great. And this first suiting up is just so fucking incredible.
Miller, like, were you referring to Robert Downey Jr. in Age of Ultron or Iron Man in Age of Ultron?
Probably both, but mainly Robert Downey Jr. Just because in that, I mean, I like him in every other one, but I feel like in that one he kind of just half-asses it.
I like him.
No, I don't think
Age of Ultron is a really bad fucking
this movie. Moment though, like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, his character in that movie does not help either.
And he goes backward. He doesn't go forward. Yeah, it's really cool about this movie too.
I think he makes up for it in Civil War, though.
Yeah, well, that was more of the writers too. But I just like how the CGI hasn't really aged. Like, it still holds up.
Yeah, it still looks great.
That's what I was saying earlier, and they do a good blending of both.
Now they use the practical suit a lot.
Well, that's what I said. Like, they do a good blending of both.
And they still use the top half of the practical suit a lot. Usually it's just his lower half that they mocap, but
yeah.
But yeah, they do a good job. Even back then, almost 10 years ago, did a good job of blending the CGI with the practical suit. Now, you can tell which is which, but they do a good job of blending. And you're right, the CGI holds up.
And for people who say Marvel doesn't have their dark moments,
there are some dark. You know,
before Disney owned Marvel.
So. This was definitely. But that's what I've said this before. Marvel started off being dark.
I don't know to say they started off being dark.
Yeah, I don't think it's
in ways they did.
Dark.
It started off like being more serious, more everything with X-Men. That made it easier for them to make comic book movies again. It made them easier for whatever. And then
they're talking specifically
about Marvel Studios.
About Marvel Studios, not just movies based on Marvel.
Oh yeah.
This scene, no music. You just hear the sound effects.
The repulsors.
Yeah. Like, this was a great introduction to, like, this is Iron Man in action.
Yeah.
Kill all.
Oh, yeah, this is pretty badass. That he's like, yeah, I'm gonna kill the bad guys, but you guys are okay.
That's like, Mark II, isn't it?
Mark III.
That's Mark III.
Yeah, Mark III.
Mark
III is my favorite one.
Mark 7 is my favorite one.
Which one's Mark 7?
Mark 7's in the Avengers.
Oh, okay.
I like Mark 7.
It's hard to keep track.
It's like a horror
Yeah, because
movie.
in Iron Man 3, he created
It's like a horror
yeah, because
movie.
in Iron Man 3, he created like fucking 40 of them.
I like the one in Age of Ultron too.
Yeah.
And I like that it kind of distorts his voice, but not in that like terrible Christian Bale Batman voice kind of way.
So you
know what I mean? Like there's a slight distortion without being too whatever. Yeah. But then later they just drop it anyway. But I like that like at the beginning it's kind of like it doesn't sound terrible.
Yeah, I've always had a problem with this scene because it's just like, how the fuck are you alive? He just got blown out of the air and just flew into a crater. It's like, how?
Because of the suit, it's keeping him protected.
I know, but like Rhodey.
Oh yeah, that's
you
true.
mean Rhodey in Civil War?
Yeah, it's just like you can survive that, but Rhodey can't survive that.
Rhodey did survive though.
I know, but he broke his back.
We got shot.
Yeah.
Well,
he got shot on top of the falling.
Christian Bale Batman, it's not that big a deal if you break your back.
He also didn't get shot by conventional weapons like Iron Man did. He got shot by Iron Man, like Iron Man shot him out of the sky.
It was a pretty big deal though.
Was it Vision?
Yeah,
Vision.
It was
Vision by accident.
He got shot and then he fell to the ground.
Yeah, if Iron Man shot him out of the sky, that's a different story.
Sure.
Vision's still pretty powerful though, because he's got that Infinity Stone, so you can't knock him. Poor Paul.
Well, and yeah.
Like, I'm so used to just coming in and doing a day or two of work, and now I gotta be in this fucking makeup and shit.
Well, no, that was good because he said like that saved his career or something.
Yeah, because his agent told him you will never work in Hollywood again, and then Joss Whedon was just like, "Hey, you want to be a Vision in Age of Ultron?"
He's got such a good voice, though. There's some actors that you could just like listen to, like read a phone book, and it's good. And
why did his agent tell him he'd never work in Hollywood again?
He just wasn't getting the right work, and like I think his projects kept on
for a long time though. Like
he did. He was in Mordecai.
He started off pretty strong. He was in a lot of stuff. He was in, the Da Vinci Code. He was in The Knight's Tale with Heath Ledger. He was in all that stuff. And
Beautiful Mind.
What?
He was in Beautiful Mind too.
Beautiful Mind,
yes,
Wimbledon.
He's like in a lot of stuff. It's just that, it's been petering out since he just started doing voice work for Jarvis. But he's got that.
He was the best part of a really bad movie.
Well, and John, was it Joss Whedon? I don't know. I know somebody said that when they initially cast Paul Bettany as Jarvis, that the goal was for him to play Vision eventually.
Oh, good.
Job security.
I love flares.
So when they cast him as, I don't think they told him.
Yeah, if you're in Marvel, you get another like 5 movies at least.
Yeah, Marvel planned on him eventually being Vision on screen.
Oh, because
but at that time when they were doing Iron Man, they didn't know what was going to happen. So.
Well, they had like a vision of what they want to happen.
Yeah,
just
right. Yeah,
They had to make sure Iron Man was going to do.
I thought that when they announced Age of Ultron, I thought they were going to make Jarvis not do it, and then they cast James Spader.
Oh, you thought Jarvis?
I think it would have been interesting if Jarvis had been the voice of Ultron as well. I do like James Spader as Ultron, but I think it would have made it more poignant, especially for Tony, if Jarvis had also been the voice of Ultron.
See, I don't like James Spader as Ultron. I like James Spader. I don't like James Spader as Ultron. I just don't think his voice fits that character.
James Spader.
He was good.
James
he just
Spader
looks stupid.
has a very distinctive voice and a very distinctive manner of talking. And the whole movie, I just saw Alan Shore trying to take over the world.
I just love that he's like, I'm on. It's me. It is me. It's Tony Stark. Do not shoot me down. Like.
And then he gets his little hero moment right here.
Shit. See, and then like Terrence there, he's like, oh man.
I'm about to lose my job. See, in this scene, he was discussing his contract with Marvel, and they were just recording his reaction.
That's terrible.
Actually, was like, you didn't use my voice.
But I do like how terrifying Jon Favreau made this scene.
Yeah, this is like legit. Like you don't know if that guy's gonna, and then it would have been Tony's fault.
Well, and in a lot of ways, I kind of wonder, and maybe this was the furthest thing from Jon Favreau's mind, but I kind of wonder if he saw the plane scene from Superman Returns and was like, you know what, I want to do that better.
Yeah.
Because this kind of does, it has the same tension and it hits a lot of the same beats as the Superman plane scene, but it's just so much better.
Maybe.
Yeah, and his flying. I like how he directs flying.
The Superman plane scene is much shorter than this.
I don't know. It was pretty long. It was a few minutes long.
Yeah, that was a long scene.
No, the training exercise isn't that the usual BS?
Like it's just a training exercise. No, I can't tell them that.
You owe me a plane, you son of a bitch. I love how he's like that. They're never gonna buy that. An unfortunate training exercise.
The villain is obviously villain.
About a bacon training exercise happening with the military. It's actually Iron Man and the Avengers doing something.
And now Captain America's shield pops up for some reason.
That's the
reason is because the CGI animators got bored.
I know, but it's just like,
Darren, isn't that Iron Man 2?
Hello. No. It's an Iron Man 1. If you look over to the left, it's right there under his armpit.
Oh, okay.
Yep,
yeah.
Right
yeah. I forgot about that.
Let's face it. This is not the weirdest thing you've caught me doing.
Yeah.
I'd hate to be the prop guys that actually had to build that shield with all you had to go on was that tiny little thing in the corner. Because they had to make it look like that. And it does. The physical shield they built for Iron Man 2 looks like the CGI shield.
I mean, I guess
maybe they did bring it back.
Maybe his dad would have had a second one or something, maybe. But
his dad was working on a lot of prototypes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So it might have been because his dad was the one who made the shield in the first place. But I don't know.
Yeah, I have no problem with it showing up.
And I've caught you doing plenty of terrible things. I don't even want to hear it. But I don't know. This scene, man. Ugh.
What's wrong with this scene?
I don't know. I think this is the point of the movie where it starts to drag a little bit for me.
Okay, so what are negatives? Because honestly, I don't have a single negative in this movie. I was talking to you guys about this the other night when I watched it, getting ready to write this chapter in my book. This is legitimately, I think, the greatest MCU movie still to date. Now, I'll give you Winter Soldier is very, very close up there. But I have no negatives. I have no negatives in this movie. What are some of your guys' negatives about Iron Man?
Well, I don't like when Obadiah. We'll see later in the movie. I don't like when Obadiah Stane puts on the Ironmonger armor and he loses his shit. Like, I don't know why you lose. Like, I think he's
kind of a weak villain.
Yeah,
but Marvel has some really bad.
Not Jeff Bridges' fault, but just the writing.
Yeah, but I don't like when he's just like, and nothing's gonna stand in my way, least of all you. It's just like, are you okay?
And the third act's kind of anticlimactic. The third act's kind of anticlimactic, I think.
Oh, I love the third act. Yeah. I like how small scale it is. It's not like being thrown through buildings. Well, they go through a building or two, but it's just
I remember everything about it.
All the shit's falling.
But
yeah, but it's just like not all this shit's falling down. It's just two guys fighting.
That's nice.
I think that, especially if you've watched it a lot of times, it starts to drag a little bit because, you're like, okay, Can we get to the action? Can we get to and there's not a whole lot of action, which is okay because it's an origin story and everything. But like you don't even see him in the proper Iron Man suit until just, a scene or two ago when, he suits up and then he's in the,
Yeah, but you
plane
don't.
area. So
Yeah,
But
but the
not
plot.
just
That's what the
thinking
plot
about that though,
statements.
because the movie
no, and I
has a
get that,
whole-
and that's fine. I'm just saying that, like, as a nitpick, you're asking about opinion. As a nitpick, I think that it does kind of drag out a little bit and not give a whole lot of, Iron Man. And that's fine because it's setting up, who Iron Man is. Lets us know that he's not just a robot. But, you ask opinion, I'm giving it, especially if you're seeing it for like the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, even the 3rd time. You're like, okay, we get it. Can we get to, some action or something?
Oh, me personally, I've never felt that way.
Yeah,
The same thing
like,
with the Winter
I
Soldier.
like that.
The Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier is kind of the same way. A lot of it is people just sitting around talking because it's a very political movie. It's a thriller. It's not really an action movie. It's a superhero thriller, and I'm never bored in between action scenes. And the same thing with this. I'm never bored in between action. But that's just me.
I'm just giving my opinion. You asked.
I didn't say you were wrong. I'm just saying I don't feel that.
And
way.
I said it was a nitpick. I didn't say that it's like something that I necessarily hate.
Okay, nobody's saying you're wrong.
I'm just saying that, like, if you're, I'm just saying as someone coming in for, like, the 5th, 6th, however many times, it does, especially knowing later movies where it's a little more jovial, which, you can also complain about that it's not serious enough. But, coming in from the other movies where it's more jovial, more jokey, more action, more, Scarlett Johansson putting people into the scissor hold,
That was such a
it does leave a touch to be desired. Just a little.
How many times has everyone seen this movie?
I've lost count.
Seen it some.
I've seen it like
I've
3, I
seen
think.
it a lot. It's one of my favorite
I'm gonna
movies.
say about 5 or 6 times.
I've only seen it like 3 times, I think.
Yeah, I've only seen it
in total.
4 or 5 times maybe.
I think because it used to be on FX a lot, so and I don't do much. I'm on disability, so I'll sit there and watch movies over and over again. And this was on FX a lot for a while, especially whenever a new Marvel movie would come out. So I think
Ghost
Drive. So I've seen this at least 5 or 6 times, and that's why I say that little nitpick about after a while it's
I get the flat villain thing, but I'm forgiving of that just because at the time it was par for the course for these movies, and even still it's par for the course for Marvel movies. I mean they're known for having shit villains. So I forgive that Obadiah Stane is kind of a flat villain and a little over the top in the 3rd act.
For me, yeah, it's over. I like him as a villain. I just like why. I just don't understand why he loses his mind.
Yeah, like it doesn't go well tonally.
So are there any other negatives that anybody has about this movie?
Not. I mean, maybe here and there, but I can't really remember. I haven't seen it in a while.
Without nitpicking, no.
I mean,
there should be more Jarvis.
This movie.
There's another thing.
Love this movie.
Yeah, there's another thing I wanted to say. But what Tony Stark, just going back a little bit, Tony Stark, I want to protect the people I put in harm's way. The only time I love that version of Iron Man, but he lost it in Iron Man 2, lost it in Iron Man 3, lost it in Age of Ultron, and then he finally got it back in Civil War. So I'm really glad they finally brought that version of Iron Man back in Civil War, where he actually lives up to that line.
You're talking about the socially conscious aspect of him?
Yeah, just like, I care about what I'm doing and I don't want to, like, because he constantly is putting people in harm's way. In Iron Man 2, he puts Pepper in harm's way. Iron Man 3, he puts his entire livelihood in harm's way. At Age of Ultron, he puts the fucking world in harm's way.
Honestly, if they had not done that in this first movie, I think it would have seemed in Civil War to almost come out of nowhere. But now it kind of makes a lot of sense because he became Iron Man because of, wanting to be more socially conscious and wanting to be more responsible. And then it's something that he fell away from. That he, as a character, I'm not just saying as the writers portrayed him, but just as a character, he made this commitment and he hasn't been living up to it. And then Civil War kind of kicks him in the butt and makes him realize he has not been living up to his own commitment that he made in this first movie.
Yeah, which was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't like how he fell. I like Tony Stark, but I don't like how he fell into the whole entire, like, I'm a man-child, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. Just like, that's not what I liked about you. I like the more... Yeah. Did you learn anything from your first movie, or not?
Well, see, and that's the point, I think, is that he didn't. He thought he did, but he didn't, And so often you get that in real life. You get people that... for lack of a better term, they do have a character arc in real life, but then they fall back to their old ways.
Will, I'm sorry I stole this $20 from you, okay? I just need the fucking money.
I'm not calling off my hitmen, so...
This and Winter Soldier are the only MCU movies that I genuinely love.
I
genuinely love Ant-Man.
I genuinely love Ant-Man, and I genuinely love Winter Soldier. I think this would be number 3 for me, just because it feels like baby steps, which it is. It is a baby step movie. It's where they're setting everything up. They're feeling what they can do. So, and that's through no fault of its own. It's the first movie in a long line of movies that would come. So that makes sense. Do not get me wrong. But, I'm losing my train of thought because he's sitting there screaming, Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, but what a great performance from Jeff Bridges.
I love it. Yeah, I know. No, don't get me wrong. I love it. I'm just, that's what I said. I'm like, hold on, he's screaming. Hold on, I need to pay attention to what he's saying. But
I think that was one of the producers too. The scientist was one of the producers. I was just like, dude, calm.
Okay, this thing is so weird. Like, what the fuck is this thing? Like, this is
I believe it's
it paralyzes your central nervous system.
Like, this is supposed to be set in, like, the now, right? Like, do we have shit like that?
Do we have Iron Man suits?
We don't have...
Do we have Spider-Man?
Yeah, we don't have Iron Man.
Do we have arc reactors?
No, but those are stuff we could...
helicarriers?
Okay.
Yeah, this is set in the here and now, but it's still science fiction.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, I just wondered, because I'm like, okay, is there something, like, we should know about? New
you don't have one of those things?
Which is not funny. Date rape is never funny. Sorry about that.
You don't have one of those things? Like,
no,
you don't have one
of those sometimes.
Will.
Dylan, Miller, you might want to cut that one.
No, what? Okay. Wait.
Do
you know what time in the track that was?
Yeah, just leave it in. It'll be all right.
What'd you say?
People can't take a joke when they shouldn't.
I wrote it down.
Just send it to me later.
I wrote it down. Yeah.
Because I don't want to go through the whole thing looking for it if I have to cut it out.
It would be about 1:35.
I got it.
Okay.
Very good.
Like, he looks like he's dead right here.
Well, he's partially, paralyzed, but then he's also just had his heart ripped out of his chest.
I know, like they just did like such a good job here. Like,
I mean, Tony Stark is, let's face it, not having a good day right now.
It was the best days. It was the worst days.
This is such a weird scene.
I've had people ask me in Iron Man 3, when he throws the arc reactor in the ocean because he doesn't need it anymore or whatever, Well, how are they going to bring Iron Man back for other movies if he doesn't have the arc reactor in his chest? Okay, Rhodey doesn't have an arc reactor in his chest.
Yeah, he doesn't need an arc
Obadiah
reactor.
Stane doesn't have. As long as you have an arc reactor in an Iron Man suit, then it's still going to run.
But why would he have arc reactors in the suit if he didn't need it when he had the arc
power the suit. Because they power the suit.
This is the creepiest walk away ever.
Yeah.
It's
and the music, like, oh my god.
He looks like a bad doctor who couldn't save his patient, just left him on the couch dying.
That's true.
I can get out of here before his wife comes back. Just go to Applebee's and chill out.
Coulson's still there. Oh, like you gotta, and he's gotta act against that. Like, oh, yep, I gotta sit here and stare and like.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. has been to this place in his life before, basically, just in this situation, just with drugs, I bet, and stuff.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying before about him, like that has, like, you have to have some like balls of steel to have gone through something similar to this. I mean, not the science fiction parts of it, but you know what I mean. Like, to have to go through the drugs and the alcohol and then have to go back to that place and be that character and live that character for years, 10 years now.
Obadiah did a great job of making sure that there weren't any other arc reactors
let it
there.
affect him personally. I mean, that's amazing.
I just thought of something. It's at the beginning of the movie. He gets a hamburger from Burger King, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from Burger King. Okay, yeah. Robert Downey Jr. actually said it's funny because Robert Downey Jr. actually said one time that Burger King is partly what saved his life because he was in his car and he had a ton of drugs in the trunk of the car and he had a Burger King hamburger. He was eating a Burger King hamburger. And he said that the hamburger was so disgusting that it made him rethink his entire life, and he threw the drugs in the river.
Really?
Nice.
Honestly,
is that like for real?
It's a great advertisement for Burger King.
That makes you wonder if it was Robert Downey Jr. that went to Jon Favreau and said, I don't care what you have to do, but that hamburger's got to be Burger King.
Yeah.
And Burger King was like, we'll comply.
Yeah.
I moved some things around. Oh, wait. What did he say about our burgers?
Said they were disgusting.
He said he said he had a hamburger from Burger King that was so disgusting.
Oh no! I was pretending to be.
He was
Burger
making
King.
a joke.
It's just like,
okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
The arc reactor is magically on the outside of his shirt again when it was on the inside before.
I mean, he ripped his shirt
I think
open.
that's no. I think that one was one of his whole shirts. That's the same shirt he was wearing that had the ripped hole already.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was under the shirt when he came out of the elevator.
It was under the shirt, but he ripped it off. He ripped it.
No, guys, remember, Obadiah did the thing to take out his heart, so it was already ripped.
So it had to be opened and ripped. So
Yeah.
Is there a giant beam in the sky in this movie?
There is a giant beam in the sky in this movie.
I thought that was the second one.
Oh no, this is the start of it all, guys.
But the beam though isn't part of the diabolical plot, so I think it's forgivable because the beam is just part of the explosion.
But then Hollywood.
That's like a little thing that's gonna pick the lock.
But then Hollywood was just like, "Whoa, guys, this beam thing, huh?"
Me too.
Oh gosh.
And yes, the beam is blue, in case anybody's wondering.
Suicide Squad connection confirmed.
Every superhero movie ever.
Oh, DC and Marvel finally had the crossover.
Look it up.
Don't you Ron Howard or Terrence Howard's just like, oh damn, I want to do that so bad.
Obadiah is actually
next time, man. Next time.
Yeah, not for him.
Yeah.
Damn that music.
Good timing on that because he said "damn" at the same time.
I thought the same thing.
Wah 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 wah.
And then his car just explodes, and you see an executive from Marvel come out. It's just like,
have been perfect.
You know, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that there aren't enough car bombings in real life.
What?
What do you mean?
Well, just
That's
somebody
terrible.
said a car
Don't engage.
explosion
Don't
and then a
engage.
Marvel executive.
So you want cars to explode in real life?
Yeah.
Why?
Like that should
So,
be the default way to handle conflict is to just blow up somebody's
Oh
car.
my god.
So the cinematography in this scene, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the cinematography and the
Will, word of advice:
Wow,
never
you're
run a
going
car.
into
Never
some
run a
dark-
car dealership.
Do what?
Never run a car dealership. Because someone
I
will
don't
piss.
plan on it.
Yeah, because someone will
Danny,
piss you
you
off
know
and
you
you'll put
can't
a bomb in their car.
You can't make your payment. Oh, it's fine. Just get back in your car. It's fine. Just drive off the lot.
We'll figure it out later.
That's
Yeah,
gonna
him
happen.
and Danny DeVito would be the two best freaking car salesmen ever.
So that guy's dead.
Yeah, who
Those
let
are
her
guys
go?
dead.
Who let her go exploring on her own?
Women cannot run that fast in heels.
Yeah, just
Who
ask
cares?
Bryce
It's a
Dallas
It's a
Howard.
movie. Tisha, it's a movie.
It just bothers the poo out of me. I can't even
Well,
walk
it-
in heels
It
because of
shouldn't.
disease. Like that just
Tony, where?
And then you stop running.
I mean, he was like down there. I don't think she was expecting him to fucking go trim.
Yeah, she wasn't expecting that, definitely.
Yeah.
This is just a mess.
My name is Kong.
Kong.
He was going to fucking murder her.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
I know,
you?
but like, it's a big gun. That would have like destroyed her. Like, there
Well,
would
he
have been
even
nothing.
told Tony after he paralyzed him that it's a shame he brought Pepper into it because he would have preferred
Yeah,
she lived.
well, she knew everything.
He was
so-
planning on taking that bitch out because she knew too much.
She knew everything, so she had to go. If she didn't,
I
imagine
love
seeing that?
this shot. That shot never gets old.
Also, you gotta love the good old Stan Lee names like Pepper Potts,
Yeah.
Happy Hogan.
Even though that was a dumb move, what he just did. Like, he just wasted all his power. I mean, I'm glad I got to see the
and he could
Unibeam.
have gotten those people hurt, like if he had aimed it like incorrectly or something.
Well,
Yeah, but I'm glad we got to see the Unibeam, but like, you could have just like pushed him.
Really, he just saved your asses, and you're just gonna run him over?
It's a guy in a 7-foot metal suit.
Right.
That's another
Grateful
thing I
son
have
of
to
a
point out.
bitch there.
That's another thing I have to point out is just the sheer attention to detail in these movies. When Iron Man gets dragged by a car, it scratches the paint on the suit. Even when he just walks, you can see little chips in the paint around the hinges and the joints just from him moving. Most movies don't take that kind of attention to detail, and every single one of these does.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then Obadiah is losing his fucking mind.
Sterling K. Brown wants to play Jon Stewart.
Yeah, but think about it, okay? You're already a bad guy, and then now you have a wearable tank. You're not going to go a little insane with power?
No. I mean, keep
Why
my
not?
fucking
I
cool.
would.
I would keep my cool.
I want a wearable tank now so I can go fuck shit up
Oh no.
This guy's
while
swinging
listening
his...
to the Sex Pistols.
This guy's like swinging his dick everywhere. Oh, you can fly? I can fly too. Like, calm down.
Which, when he takes off, it really just looks like the space shuttle liftoff to me.
It really does, though.
He's like trying to
He
run
has
away
the
from him, but
slowest-
he's so slow.
Yeah, he has the slowest launch ever.
It's pretty sad.
That's what, if you guys have ever seen How It Should Have Ended, they're just like, wait, that's a slow launch. And then he just uses his missile and blows him up.
Exactly.
Even though
I
this
love
is
that
a
line.
really...
It's just a training exercise, soldier.
Even though this is a
Airman.
really good way to take out your bad guy. Like, I like that Tony Stark uses his wits.
Yeah,
take that
stuff
guy.
he's learned.
How'd you solve the icing problem? What icing problem?
So yeah, he's losing his fucking mind.
I love that. Just leave it on the screen. Stop. Just shut the fuck up, C-3PO.
How the fuck did he catch up with him?
I don't know.
Yeah, because he was at least like.
Well, because he wasn't Iron Man wasn't Iron Man slowing down before him? No.
You know, if Obadiah did die, that would have been a horrible way to die.
He did.
But he didn't die from falling out of the stratosphere. So
okay.
Point.
Yeah, like that would have been awful.
And then he conks out. I was like, oh fuck.
Yep. Shit.
Yeah, I like how they give us that one heroic shot, and then it's just like, nope, you're going back down. Gravity, bitch. The movie Robert Downey Jr. was actually supposed to star in.
Huh.
What movie?
Gravity. He was actually supposed to be in
Gravity. And then he just starts taking the shit off, and oh, nope, not dead. Oh, shit, I already took that hand off.
Yeah.
And another hero shot, and another screw up.
Oh, God.
How is any of his
flares?
Ooh, fireworks show.
I love how the Iron Man suit is completely out of power, except for just enough power he needs to do the things he needs to do.
I remember when I saw that shot in the trailer, I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, how you point out the fireworks show, I was just like, wait, what?
That's what it looks like. I am saying a lot of stuff that nobody will understand. You just have to trust me.
Okay.
Just turn some knobs and flip a switch.
And if this were Spider-Man, she would fall down that tower and he just missed catching her.
Good God.
Sorry.
That's how Iron Man 3 should have ended.
That's how Iron Man 3 should. I like how he just flings them. Yeah. And also, this movie found a good way to take off the hero's mask.
Yeah, oh, that is cool, yeah.
Yeah.
He looks funny.
And this is where they got the ideas for Amazing Spider-Man 2. I mean, that's what the Rhino looks like when he's in the Rhino suit. Hello.
Well, it was also that everything was becoming a robot at some point. At that point, which could be attributed to this. They're like, it looked cool in Iron Man, do it. Robots for everyone.
I'm the Rhino.
God.
That was fun.
No.
He could have been a good Rhino too. That's the shit.
Could have been a real.
And then there's some electricity going on. Come on, this is totally the climax of Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Well, Electro existed before.
I mean, yeah.
I am just saying it there is some. It's very, very fucking reminiscent.
Obadiah, shut up and pay attention. They're trying to kill you.
Yeah, he loses like all his intelligence, basically.
Yeah, seriously. Did he like take some roids before he fucking killed that thing?
He knows how to power that thing, please. But he can't figure out what.
Button, bitch, button.
It's like right there.
I mean, she doesn't want to kill him. Woman. She doesn't want to kill him though. Like that's why she didn't. She's hesitating. It might kill Tony.
And there's a blue beam.
It's a nice beam.
Yeah, but that's forgivable. It's not part of the diabolical plan. It's just an explosion.
Now, if Iron Man was made today,
Thanos, that's what really alerted Thanos to Earth.
Was the blue beam being shot up into the sky?
Thanos
wasn't the Tesseract.
Oh, damn, blue beams on Earth? I'm conquering that shit.
He's reading like the newspaper.
Better not have laser pointers, goddammit.
This Obadiah guy had a point.
Obadiah got electrocuted to death and then got incinerated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's nothing left of him.
Jon Favreau was like, man, Jeff Bridges, I love Jeff Bridges, but he's really been annoying me on this film stuff. He's like, we need to change his death route.
This is what you get for Tron Legacy, bitch.
Well, this was before Tron Legacy.
Yeah, this was before.
Was it?
It was 2 years before.
Yeah, it
It's
was.
been so long ago.
It's
don't even
before
remember
Tron
which
Legacy.
movies came first.
This is for Tron Legacy fans.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years out before.
2 years before it happens.
Who is the Iron Man?
I just love that everybody's like, I need to protect everybody. They can't know who I am. They can't know who I am. I'm so misunderstood.
And then he's like, fuck you, I'm
like,
Iron
fuck
Man.
you, I'm Iron Man.
Perfect. This movie has a perfect fucking ending. I love the ending of this movie.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have loved to be in the theater watching it.
Yeah, I do
This is
regret
the
not
first-
seeing that theater because everybody's just like, what? You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because superheroes don't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
This was the first movie I saw more than once in the theater.
Shit, I can't even remember that one.
I think
it
mine
was
was
Spider-Man 2.
Days of Future Past.
I think mine was Spider-Man 2.
I'm probably gonna see Beauty and the Beast more than once.
Are we talking about movies we saw multiple times in the theater?
Yeah.
No, I just said
First movie.
Iron Man was the first movie I saw twice in the theater, and then other people started talking about. Yeah.
I don't know what the first movie I saw multiple times in the theater was, because I don't generally go more than once.
Yeah.
Usually if I go more than once, it's because I've already seen it, but then a buddy wants to go, so I go with them or whatever, but I don't generally go to movies more than once.
I don't have the money to go to movies more than once.
I don't have the time, because there's always a new movie I have to go see. Or I want to go see, or I need to go see.
I love Gwyneth Paltrow on this scene.
Yeah.
He's just like giving him.
Damn.
He left me there. And I like how it leaves the romance up for question for the sequels. It's just like, they're not together, but they are. You know, it's just like, we got some stuff to explore here.
Well, and it's not really until the Avengers that you get the sense that these people are a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even in Iron Man 2, they're kind of, like flirty, but not dating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the Avengers, you're just like, oh, yeah, they fucking live together and shit.
Yeah.
Tony and Pepper living in sin.
Mm-hmm. There's that reporter again.
Christy
And I like how
Vanity Fair.
And I like how Robert Downey Jr. is even just like bodyguard. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
This is my favorite scene in the movie.
Outlandish and fantastic.
The truth is, I love that. Just read the cards, you son of a bitch.
This might actually be my favorite ending of any comic book movie.
See, that might go to The Dark Knight for me.
Yeah.
I am Iron Man.
This is pretty badass.
I love
fucking.
And then just
I love that they just have the music for this, and they don't have Ozzy Osbourne's actual voice singing.
Yeah.
Because I think the vocals on this song would have been a little too on the nose, but just having the music is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Because who doesn't know that this is, Black Sabbath Iron Man?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was really cool in Avengers how he's wearing a Black Sabbath shirt.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've searched so hard to try and find that shirt, but I can never find it.
Well, and I can't listen to AC/DC anymore and not think Iron Man. Like,
yeah.
AC/DC and Iron Man are forever linked in my mind now.
Yeah.
I prefer Black Sabbath and Iron Man to AC/DC and Iron Man, but that's just me.
Yeah, but I mean, the only Black Sabbath song is this one, and you've got, you know, AC/DC is just like the theme, the Iron Man theme throughout all these movies. Even in the Avengers, when you're introduced to him, it was
it's the AC/DC song.
Could you imagine being Marvel?
I don't know. I just like Black Sabbath. I associate Black Sabbath more with Iron Man than I do AC/DC with Iron Man.
Yeah. Could you imagine being Marvel the opening weekend, just like, oh god, it worked.
It worked.
I know
It really
worked. Marvel Studios is probably one of the biggest underdog studios of all time. I mean, they made this fucking movie and they didn't know what was gonna happen. And what this movie cost? $130 million. I think somewhere around that.
Yeah, we can fact check that.
Even Merrill Lynch, who was supposed to be financing them, wanted to pull out.
Yeah.
Like this MCU,
because they're a comic.
This thing almost didn't happen. And I like that they leave the Avengers connection for the post-credit scene, because if this movie doesn't work, then they can say, oh no, that was just an Easter egg. That was just a joke. That was an inside joke for comic book fans. We weren't really setting anything up. But if it worked, which it did, then that opens the door to everything that they've built on top of it.
Well, Incredible Hulk too.
It was 140.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
And I got that nominated for 2 Oscars.
Yeah, but I really like this movie, guys. I fucking really like this
movie. I do too. I really do like this.
Yeah, I mean, it gets better. It still holds up. The CGI is still good. The action's still good. The acting is still good. I mean, it's a lovely first film from these guys.
It is. It definitely is.
Well, and even 10 years later, it's still a shining gem among the rest.
Yeah.
And like you were about to say, Darren, it gets better with age. It really does. Iron Man is like a fine wine.
I was just about to say that.
It really is a good film.
We gotta rank one of the podcasts we gotta rank the Marvel universe. Like our own personal rankings of like, what is it?
Well, the thing is that's hard for me because it's I only really like 5 of the MCU movies, so it's like some of them are higher on my list, but they're not technically high because I don't really like them that much. They're just
well, he didn't ask about liking them; he just said ranking them.
I'm not big on Thor.
Yeah, it's just.
Although I like the first Thor movie, but I don't know if I like the second one.
Or 2.
Okay, so Dylan,
I think the first
are there some Marvel movies that you hate less than others?
I guess so, yeah.
Well, there you go. Then you have a mechanism for ranking that.
Exactly,
no,
but Dylan,
like I could have 6. I could have 6. But never mind.
But Dylan, you want to go ahead and close this out?
Well, shouldn't we? Okay.
You want to wait for the scene?
Are we going to the credits?
Yeah.
Yes, we are gonna go till the last credit. God damn it.
It's only like 4 more minutes or 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
We just went full circle there, guys. But I think ranking them would be, because I mean I think I like, how many movies are there? 13?
Oh gosh.
Well,
yeah, I think
let's
it's 13.
See. There are 6 in each phase 1 and phase 2. There are 6. So then Civil War is 13, and Doctor Strange is 14.
Yeah. So I think out of those I like or love 10 of them. So yeah, I mean my ranking's not going to be that hard.
See. Iron Man, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Doctor Strange.
I think Ant-Man's my favorite, and then Winter Soldier, then Iron Man, then Doctor Strange, then I don't know though.
I love like 2 of them. I like a few of them, and then most of the rest of them are either terrible or average.
Yeah, I like about 5 of them.
Yeah. I think I like
or love
them. I think the only ones I don't really like are the Thor solo movies, because they're just not
I like the first Thor, Thor Ragnarok. I can still watch Thor.
Thor is
good.
Thor, the
Thor
Dark World.
Ragnarok, I'm like not into as much. I don't know. I guess because like it's just confusing, maybe. But that might be me.
Well, I know my top 3 are definitely Iron Man, then Winter Soldier, then Ant-Man. I really legitimately like Ant-Man.
So we at least have like the same top 3. Like
yeah, I saw Ant-Man like.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. But I saw him like 5 times in the theater. I mean, I love that movie.
I really like. I mean, I've always loved Paul Rudd. And yes, I'm a female, and his looks might have something to do with that. But he also has a great freaking comedic timing, and he's absolutely hilarious. And I mean, when he shows up in fucking in fucking Civil War, and he's like, "Oh man, Captain America," and you, and then he looks at Scarlet Witch, and he's like, "Yeah, and I know you too. You're really great." Like he's just like so excited to be there, and it's just, I mean, he's so infectious. He's like a little boy. He's like a little boy, like just having fun.
Yeah, he is. He's
so infectious. That's why I like him.
And that's what's great too about Ant-Man in that movie is that ideologically he doesn't have a side. He literally would have joined up with the first team that kidnapped him.
Yeah, pretty much. And then he's just like, "Man, Hank Pym was right about you. Who are you again?"
See, and here's the thing, okay?
So
all through this entire movie, Iron Man was a really good movie. This was the scene though that changed the genre forever.
Jarvis, you didn't do your job.
I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's kind of talking to the audience too. It's just like you think you're about to become a part of a bigger universe. You just don't know it yet. And then that's when a bunch of
about the Avengers.
But didn't they get out?
Did
that not get out before the movie?
Yeah, that was incredible.
I can't imagine if this movie came out today. If this fucking movie came out today and I saw it in the theater, how I would just fucking lose my fucking shit. Jesus Christ. Because I didn't know what all that meant when I was fucking 7 years old because I didn't read comics. But
what's an Avenger?
I know. I was into Spider-Man and X-Men. I didn't know what an Avenger was. I was like,
I was 28. I was 28 when this movie came out. So, and luckily, I was lucky enough not to have had that post-credits scene spoiled for me. Yeah. But I was given the heads up. Hey, there is a post-credits scene. Wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, let's see this fucking post-credits scene. What do we got here? And then he comes on, Samuel L. Jackson comes out with, Avenger Initiative. And yeah, I did lose my shit because I was like, oh my God, are they really going to do this?
Yeah.
And then after the Incredible Hulk, then it hits you. You're like, oh my God, they're really doing this.
Fuck, it's so beautiful.
This is so incredible. This has been an incredible movie. And I think it's a great kickoff to the year and our, the first commentary as Till the Last Credit. Especially given that it was the first Marvel post-credit that made everybody have to sit through every movie till the last freaking credit.
And it boggles my mind the amount of people that still get up and walk out.
I know, it does every time. Every time.
Most people stay and then walk out after the first one. People are fucking retarded. Except when Josh.
Right, yeah, because now there's a mid-credit and a post-credit in every freaking.
Except for an Age of Ultron.
No, that was at the very end.
So
Age of Ultron didn't have both.
No, Age of Ultron only had the Thanos one, and that was it.
Was the Thanos one at the very end or the middle?
It was in the middle.
Oh, okay.
It was in the middle. Okay. There was another one.
I was like, why, Josh Whedon? Why you do this, man?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We hope you have a good
take us out, Dylan.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for today. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like. If you don't like this video, tell us why you think shit, comments, I don't know, subscribe. Make sure you check out our Instagram at Til the Last Credit.
Dylan.
Can you do it again where you're not phoning it in?
Do it again. Yeah, like seriously, like
I always do it like
enthusiasm.
this.
Jeez.
It's like the thing.
I
It's
know,
12:30
just
at
like
night.
you
Get the
don't
guy a
give a
break.
lighten up a little.
Fucking hell. I'm fucking tired.
I don't care. Lighten up a little bit. Jesus.
Anyways, guys, that'll do it for today. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like. If you think this video should, comment and tell us why you think it should. Make sure you subscribe. Go check out our Instagram at Til the Last Credit, and go check out our Twitter at Til the Last Cred. Make sure you go like us on Facebook at Til the Last Credit, and check out our website tilthelastcredit.wordpress.com. Hopefully soon we'll be getting that changed, get the WordPress out. Anyways, guys, until next time, I am Iron Man.